So welcome to Between the Stripes TV's League of Ireland Review Show. It's Kieran Burke and my co-host from the League of Ireland podcast, John Breyer. We're going to take you through tonight's results in both the Premier and First Division. We're here on the pitch at the City Calling Stadium. Longford Town have won with the last kick of the game here tonight against Wexford FC. Jamie Doyle, the hero, off the substitutes bench. We'll speak about that game shortly, but we'll start with the Premier Division, John. Shamrock Rovers 2, Derry City 2. Declan Devine spoke today about not wanting to lose to the same team consistently every season. That Derry's record had been awful recently against Shamrock Rovers. They were 2 down. They've come back to 2-2. What a result for the Candy Stripes.
Yeah, 2 down into the second half, deep into the second half. 55 minutes. Trevor Clark and Jack Byrne with another goal for Rovers there. But Derry pulled it back with goals from Kieran Cole and Junior right at the end of the 84th minute.
Junior, our podcast guest a couple of weeks ago. But Clark and Byrne, 2 key performers this season for Shamrock Rovers. I'm sure the Rovers fans thought when they went 2 up that was plain sailing for the night, but a great character from Derry away from home, and they've struggled away from home in recent years, but since Devine's come in they've shown a bit of a steal, haven't they?
Yeah, a few years ago this could have ended up 5-0 when Derry went 2-0 down, but they're a different prospect away from home this season, and a great result for them, but big 2 points drop for Rovers. You can't help but think.
I think are we still playing in Ballybuffet at the moment, but Dundalk, they have the 3 points. They're 3-0 up as we speak. We'll just look and see who the goal scorers are there. John Breyer, Michael Duffy, John Mountney and Brian Gartland, so a real spread of goals there tonight.
Mountney continuing his great form, goal scoring form at the moment, so he got the second tonight. Michael Duffy with the opener, and Brian Gartland from Michael Duffy's assist. So 3-0, still playing there, but it's as good as over, Kieran.
So we could be looking at a pivotal night now in the Premier Division title race. Shamrock Rovers dropping points after being in a very comfortable position at home to Derry. Dundalk going to a very difficult venue in Ballybuffet and getting the job done. That's very, very impressive from Dundalk.
Yeah.
Sligo 1, St Pat's 1. That's not a surprise at all, is it?
No, I think we were saying it's possible to draw, weren't we, on the podcast?
Sligo seem to be the draw specialist this season.
Yeah, and to be honest, this was a very late show. It was 0-0 up to 80th minute when Jack Kearney opened the scoring for Sligo. The equaliser just a minute later through Kevin Toner.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that's probably a set piece from Toner. He quite physical in the air, but for both sides it's not a result that does an awful lot for their European ambitions. In the First Division, the game that was played at 3 p.m. today, Bray Wanderers 0, Shelbourne 1. A Carl Moore superb free kick from Moore, and Shelbourne, I was speaking to people that are at the game again, not overly impressive but getting the results.
Yeah, they are, and they're holding that top spot, so sometimes you have to go away from home and get a scrappy 1-0 win, but that's a big result, because we were talking Bray up at the start of the season, weren't we? It's possible.
You know my views on Bray.
Yeah, but they've been they seem to be very disappointing recently, and McGlade not even starting matches.
Yeah, that's something we'll probably talk about more on the podcast in the coming weeks. Moving along, Drogheda United 4, Athlone Town 2. Drogheda were 3-0 up after 41 minutes. Athlone racing back to 3-2 goals through Evan Pearce and Kaleem Simon, but James Clark in the 82nd minute wrapping up all 3 points for Drogheda. They're scoring an awful lot of goals, John.
Yeah, we've said this numerous times. You want to go see goals, go and watch Drogheda, because they're banging them in, and 3-0 up at half time. This game looked dead and buried, but Evan Pearce and Kaleem Simon getting Athlone back into it there, but James Clark killing it off in the 82nd.
Chris Lyons on the score sheet again. Very impressive performer for the Drogs lately. Limerick 2, Galway United 1. So Limerick coming from behind. Conor Ellis and Kieran Hanlon with the goals. They're 2 forward players there. That is a great comeback for Limerick. Again, we have to speak about everything going on off the pitch there to show the character to come back against Galway. That's brilliant from Tommy Barrett and the players. Yeah,
we've seen probably the best and worst of Galway over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? In the 2 matches against Town, and
it was Shane Doherty again on the score sheet for Galway. He got the goal here on Monday in their 2-1 defeat against Longford.
And that was the way it was kept till half time. But like you say, Conor Ellis, who's scoring a lot of goals at the moment, he's going to be a man in demand if he keeps going.
There's a couple of rumours floating around about the potential for maybe a couple of Limerick players leaving now, if not a good chunk of their squad. Now that's unconfirmed, but as you say, Ellis, you'd imagine he'll be a man in demand, maybe for a club like Longford here.
Yeah, so 2-1 the final score. Cabinteely 2, Cove Ramblers 2. Cabinteely's in different form continues.
Yeah, we fancied Cove, didn't we, in this one? Kevin Taylor and Jeze Kabia, they're 2 of the young stars on the score sheet there. Talking of stars, Rob Manley on the score sheet again, and Jack Watson's a player that's caught the eye in midfield for Cabinteely this season. For Cabell, losing a bit of ground in the promotion stakes. For Cove, again, they probably need to be getting wins if they want to get in that playoff picture. But we all know Stephen Henderson views. He feels that they won't be anywhere near those playoff places this season.
Yeah, well, they sort of need to go on a run of wins really to get into any chance of playoffs. But look, a point at Stradbrook, it's a decent result for them.
And finishing up with the game we've just witnessed here, Longford Town 1, Wexford FC 0. Jamie Doyle, the late hero, off the bench. John, give us your thoughts on that game.
Well, I thought it was a bit of a struggle for Longford, really. I don't think Wexford offered too much neither without Danny Furlong. So
you could see the potential in Doherty there, a player we've highlighted so much on the podcast. He was Wexford's main threat here tonight, but you could see he didn't have that target man to aim at. Almost all of Wexford's goals this season has come through that duo of Furlong and Doherty. So to take your top scorer out of the team, Wexford were at disadvantage before they kicked off here tonight. Yeah,
they were, and we were looking and wondering where Furlong was, but obviously not in the starting lineup. And everything that Wexford did went through Doherty. You can see he's pivotal to what they do. But
he'll be a man in demand, won't he?
I think so, yeah. So we'll see with the transfer window if he gets a move. But he looked pretty sharp tonight, I have to say. But Longford left it very, very late.
3 minutes at a time. It was virtually the last kick of the game.
Jamie Doyle on in the 80th minute, and he had a couple of good chances as well. He changed the game really for Longford.
Could have had a hat trick in 10 minutes.
Could have, and you can't help thinking, but he's done his chances of a starting position no harm tonight.
Now, you're usually a very composed man over in sectional, John, but you were screaming for Doyle to come on.
Yeah.
20 minutes into that second half. So what do you feel he brings that maybe the other strikers in the squad don't?
I think he's got the ability to hold the ball up as well, and of course he's huge. He's massive height. So we were just taking a photo of my daughter there with him, and he's about 3 times the size, but he's a big lad. He's good presence in the air, and he can hold the ball up. But he's quite good with his feet as well.
Yeah. So. Overall, do you think Longford deserved that 3 points tonight?
I think so. Just edged it, but boy, did they leave it late.
They say league title wins are built off 1-0 wins and showing that sort of determination. So I suppose, again, not the prettiest of nights for Longford, but they probably do need to look at a striker though in the transfer window, because they created enough chances there tonight to win that game a lot more comfortably than they did.
Yeah, I'd like to see Doyle get a run of games, to be honest, because I think Dobbs has had a number of games now, and I'd like to see Doyle get a good run in the side before we go out and bring somebody else in.
Finally, before you go, Longford travel to Bray next week in the final game before the mid-season break. I think most would agree Bray aren't having the season that they were expected to have. No. Shelbourne, again, not playing overly well but getting the results. So Longford, they can't afford to slip up now and lose ground on Shells ahead of that mid-season break. If they could be top of the league or even just a point behind Shelbourne, I think Neil Fenn would be very, very happy with how the first half of the season has gone. Yeah, I think so. I think when we previewed the season, Kieran, we sort of looked at Shells as with the players that brought in, and I expected them to be quite a bit ahead at this stage of the season. So for Longford to be on their, right up with them is very, very good. So transfer window's going to play a big part, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. You just wonder what Shells will do in it, whether they'll go out and strengthen. They've already got a strong enough squad, but whether they're scraping a few wins, whether they'll want to go out and maybe bring some more players in, I'm not so sure. But for Longford, I think they'll be looking for a striker and a creative midfielder. And just finally, Wexford, valiant effort tonight. Huge improvement on the Wexford we've seen in recent years. And as we said, if Furlong had been out there today, it could have been a different story. Yeah, and then like we've said on the podcast, they're not getting totally well beaten like the 6 and 7-0 like we saw last season. They're getting very, very close in games, and you can see why. They're decent setup, a good goalkeeper as well. I was impressed with very good performance from Chambers, and the back four looked pretty decent without being anything overly spectacular. So yeah, it's you can see there's a basis of something there. If they had a couple more players in that team, yeah. So that's it, folks. I want to thank John Breyer for joining me, and you can hear myself and John on Wednesday night when Between the Stripes LOI podcast returns on iTunes, Spotify, all your favourite podcast platforms, and of course on our website, betweenthestripes.ie, Series 3, Episode 16, and we'll have some big name guests once again this week, hopefully. John, thanks for joining me. Folks, interviews from this game coming up, and we also have interviews from that win down in Limerick, the Markets Fields. Our man Joe Scully was down there tonight, so here's the interviews, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this video far and wide.
I'm here with Limerick manager Tommy Barrett at precise 2-1 win over Galway. You had a poor enough first half, but a lot better in the second half.
Agreed, Joe. Yeah, I thought second half we dominated. We could have got 3 or 4 in the second half. Disappointed with the first half performance. We were fairly flat. I thought both teams were flat, to be fair. But yeah, happy to get the win.
That's 4 games now unbeaten for you. You must be happy enough with your form at the moment.
Yeah, happy enough. Disappointed with getting the draw last week at Lone, but in fairness, you know, we didn't deserve much more. We probably could have won it in the second half, but you know, at Lone were better in the first half, so happy enough.
It's obviously a tough time for the club at the moment, but you're getting on with it anyway, and it seems to be going all right anyway.
Yeah, look, we got a great group of lads. They're a great bunch. We gelled together very well, you know, and everyone's in it together.
That win at the moment, it puts you into 4th place, so you're in a great position for getting to playoff anyway. And 6 points behind Shelburne as things stand.
Yeah, look, we're plugging away and we'll keep going and we'll play to our best ability, and we're happy to be in 4th place. I didn't realise we're going to 4th tonight, so delighted with that.
Wexford away next, that will be a tough enough game down in Wexford.
It will be tough, yeah. As I said earlier, every game in this division is tough, Joe. We'll go there, and you know, they've only been losing by the odd goal. They've been very unlucky, to be fair to them. You know, I know they got to Longford tonight, but they're losing by the odd goal, and they've got really good players in Danny Furlong, Jack Doherty, and you know, they've Callan at the back. You know, they've some good centre backs, and they signed some ex-League of Ireland, ex-Wexford lads there recently as well, so they've strengthened their squad, so it'll be a really difficult task for us to get a result down there.
Coming up towards the half-season break, but it's a very competitive division so far this season. There's not very much in between the top 6, so what do you fancy your chances of winning promotion then? I
know it's very difficult to call. You know, we take it game by game. Hopefully we can stay, as you said earlier, on the coattails of the 4th spot, and look, we're probably playing for, you know, we're not playing to probably win it at this stage. You know, we probably haven't got the resources like the rest of the lads have above us, but you know, if we can sneak in to 4th spot, we'll be looking to do that if we can, but it's still going to be a really difficult task for us to do that, because you know, I can see a lot of clubs strengthening in the window. We're not in a position to strengthen by the looks of it.
Any word on the new owners or anything like that? Yeah.
No, I have no news on that, Joe. Sorry.
Right. Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm here with Galway United manager Alan Murphy after his side's 2-1 defeat at the hands of Limerick. You must be disappointed enough with the result.
Yeah, look, hugely disappointed. Thought we were excellent in the first half. Thought we were terrible in the second half, to be honest. Different set of probably scenarios this week. We go 1-0 up, like we haven't been probably doing, and I thought we were excellent. Probably should have been 2 or 3 up, and then probably didn't know how to manage it, to be honest with you. Players on the pitch, lost a few players. Obviously, Conor Barry or Davern went off injured, but I mean, we just weren't able to. We didn't pass the ball in the second half at all. Where we did just had some great passes played first.
Do you think Limerick should have been down to 10 men in the second half for the incident? There was a hit.
What do you think? What do you think?
Look from here.
A head button incident.
Yeah.
Do I think someone should be sent off for a head button incident? I think that's fair enough.
You've unlucky with injuries so far this season, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. I mean, we've key players that have again gone off injured tonight, and we are what we are. We're so inexperienced at times. We've a lot of lads that are only getting it. They're I suppose their first foot in League of Ireland football. And I mean, look at the wealth of experience they have tonight, probably in comparison to us. And look. We did fine the first half. We didn't do fine in the second half. That was it.
Next up for you now is a trip to Cove, which will be a tough one.
Yeah, Cove are always very difficult down there. They'll be well organised and they'll be well up for it, and they're probably, I think, they've had a little bit of a resurgence at the moment. So it'll be a really tough one for us. Going away.
With the mid-season break coming up, will there be any signings coming in? Or
I mean, look, in terms of budget, I mean, the club, it is what it is at the moment. We're trying to grow from the bottom up in terms of our players that are in the club, and I suppose the up and coming players that are our own. So we won't be bringing any big signs or anything with the budget isn't there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm here with the match winner, Jamie Doyle, a last gasp winner for Longford Town tonight to defeat Wexford FC by 1-0. Jamie, incredible scenes when that goal went in.
Oh yeah, just delighted for the team more than that. You know, we worked very hard tonight. Thought we weren't going to break them down, but eventually in the end we got there. I'm delighted to get the goal myself. You know, I needed that.
And you were only on the pitch 10 minutes, and yet you had, I think, 2 cleared off the line, 2 headed chances, and then you have the composure in the last minute to take a touch and lift it over the goalkeeper. Your heart must have been in your mouth waiting for that ball to cross the line.
Yeah, stop. I felt like it was going in forever, you know. It was a great ball by Dean Zamber to see me, you know. All the Wexford players went to Dean Byrne as if he was going to get it, and I just luckily got a touch and slotted it in, you know.
Of course, everyone's going to be talking about your finish, but I think Dean Zamber deserves a huge amount of credit. It's the last minute of a game. it's been one of them nights where the ball just won't go in the net. He could have easily just said, I'm going to have a whack and hope this goes in. Instead, he keeps his composure. He looks up, he sees you, trips it through to you, and you get the winning goal.
Yeah, unbelievable composure by Dean Zambra. You know, he has that in the locker, so he's a good captain, and he just kept plugging away and found a great ball for me. You know, that's why he's the captain, and you know.
And you mentioned the fact you needed a goal. Obviously, it's been a frustrating time for yourself, and we've spoken before on the Longford SoundCloud account about maybe your lack of opportunities this season. I'm sure you're looking to send a message now and hopefully get a run of games under your belt and score more big goals like that.
Yeah, look, I'm disappointed the amount of game time I've got this year, you know, but I just got to keep working hard and training, and hopefully Neil gives me the opportunity, you know. So I've done well for the team tonight, and I'll continue to do that whenever I'm given the chance.
Shelbourne with a narrow 1-0 win over Bray today at the Carlisle grounds. Bray, I think most people would agree their season's not going the way many would expect it. For Longford now, they're a point behind Shelbourne before that game away to Bray next week, last game before the mid-season break. It's a huge opportunity for Longford now to maybe finish before the break top of the league, or at the very least be right on top of Shelbourne. Yeah,
it's a massive game next week. We needed to win tonight for sure, and go into Bray next week. We must get 3 points next week to keep toes with shells, you know. So we'll do our best next week and hopefully get the 3 points.
And finally, it was a little bit disappointing to see such a small turnout here tonight, and at times in the first half and even in the second it was very flat at times, and there was a few Town players, they were trying to G the crowd up a little bit, just get them going. I'm sure as a player it can be difficult at times to play when the tempo is so flat like that.
Yeah, when the atmosphere is like that, it's very difficult to get going, you know. We hope the Longford fans come out more often and in their numbers, you know. It really spurred the team on, and if we want to get promotion this year we need all the fans behind us.
Jamie, well done, thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Now I'm joined here by Longford Town manager Neil Fenn after a dramatic 1-0 win over Wexford FC. Neil, we had 3 chances cleared off the line in the second half. You must thought it was just going to be one of them nights and it wasn't going to go in.
Yeah, exactly. I did think that. I thought that, you know, the chances that we had and the way they were ricocheting around the box, it wasn't going to be our night, but fortunately for us, Jamie pops up at the death and gets the winner.
The first half, I think, in terms of chances, it was fairly even for both teams. A few half chances for us, maybe 2 chances at most for Wexford through Doherty. But then the second half, you know, we came out, sustained pressure from the team. It seemed that it just wasn't going to come for us. I know Sam had a great volley saved by Chambers. He did well tonight for Wexford. Dobbs had a header cleared off the line, I think, and Anto Breslin got in with Dean Byrne. Did you think, you know, watching the game, it was just going to be a draw and, like, you know, you were finished at that stage?
Yeah, I think in the first half we didn't play well. Again, we were too slow, too ponderous, too many touches again, just not moving the ball quick enough. And to be fair to Wexford, they were organised and you know they were hitting us on the counter and looked dangerous. But second half came out, we moved the ball a little bit quicker. There was a little bit more of an impetus to our play, and you know we were starting to create a few chances. Obviously, like you say, Sam hits a good volley. We get a couple of blocks. Jamie comes on a sub, hits the post, ball rebounds through Sam's legs. Just looked like it wasn't going to be our day. Dobbsy has one clear off the line, hits the lad's face. So it did look like that, but fortunately, you know, the boys kept believing all the way along that we could get something out of it, and fortunately we did.
You brought on Peter Hopkins and Sean Brennan fairly early enough in the second half, and I thought Peter made a difference out on that wing and Brennan in the midfield. But you know, you said it with about probably 9 minutes to go, I think Jamie came on and he took Dobbsy off. Dobbsy went close a few times, but you know, Jamie has that height advantage then throwing it forward, and in the end it paid off. A great pass from Dean Zambra in the last few moments, and Doyle turns with the left foot and into the goal.
Yeah, I mean, I said to him after the game, it's a squad game, and you can't go through a season with just the same players, expecting them to do every week, do the same thing for you. So you need to bring players on as subs. They need to make an impact. And the last few times, to be honest, I'm not singling any player out here. Our subs haven't done what we've wanted them to do. They've possibly the last game, but before that, we were bringing subs on. They weren't having much of an impact. But the 2 boys today, the 3 boys, Peter, Sean and Jamie, all played their part. I thought Sean was excellent, kept the ball for us, kept looking forward, playing people in. Peter was dynamic, he was direct, he was running at players, which is what we want Peter to do. Jamie was dangerous, like I say, got on the end of a cross, hit the post and scored a great goal for us.
It was a great win, but next week will be an even tougher challenge away to Bray, the first time away in the Carlisle grounds this year. How do you think that game is going to go?
It's going to be tough, it's going to be difficult. You know, Bray, you know, are a good team. Gaz has got them again well organised with dangerous players. Obviously we know a few of them from here, but you know, It's going to be, every game is difficult. Every match we play, if we don't move the ball quick, if we don't play at a high tempo, then we don't look very good. But when we do move the ball quick, and like we did when we played Bray here and press them, then we look like a good team.
Shelbourne had a narrow 1-0 win earlier today over Bray they were playing, and you know they're still only 1 point ahead of Longford now. Longford are in second. You know, we've always been saying the last few weeks, you know, it's still early yet, we're still up there, but it's not early anymore. You know, we're going into the break next week, going into the last bit of the season, and we're still up there at the top.
Yeah, you know, Shell's that's 3 1-0 wins in a row, and we're winning 1-0 as well. So you've got Drogheda scoring goals for fun at the moment, so they're dangerous. Bray will come back into it. Limerick won again. Cabinteely, I'm sure, will bounce back. So it'll be those 6 teams again, I would imagine, that are going to be fighting it out. And it's sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Sometimes you need the ball to bounce your way, and today it did.
Obviously, with the window coming up now in July, you might be looking to reinforce certain areas. You know, a lot of the supporters are wondering, are we getting in such and such a player and such, but you'll have your eye on a few.
Yeah, we've got, you know, names that get sent to us, you know, requests from us. Do you want to take him? This player's available. So we'll get a little bit of a list going, start making a few inquiries ourselves. I think you do need to bring players in. I think you just need to freshen it up. I think Shells did it last year with Paddy Kavanagh and Carl Moore in July, and it gave them that little bit of extra boost going into towards the end of the season. So I certainly think that if you can improve your squad and just make a couple of additions, it freshens it up a little bit. So we'll be looking to do that.
With that, players coming in, obviously certain players probably will head for the exit door that aren't breaking into the team.
Yeah, you know, lads want to play football, and unfortunately we can only play 11 and 7 subs. So boys who are not playing and not starting and not playing enough minutes, they will want to play. And obviously we'll assess every player as it comes. We can't let everybody go. Go on.
Before you go, Paul O'Connor suffered a bad injury against Shells maybe 2 weeks ago. How is his diagnosis for the rest?
Yeah, he's got a cracked cheekbone. I think that's the diagnosis of it. So he'll have to have an op. I think he's having it up on Wednesday. So he'll be out for possibly 5 to 6, 8 weeks post-op. So that's bad for him. You know, he's just got his way back into the team as well. He was doing well for us. His face on the railings at the match, so disappointing. But you know, that's Jamie Hollywood's come in and done well. So that's the beauty of having a good squad.